Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Good afternoon. Some kids are home from school today because of the icy roads there.
And on top of that, we've got the fog. Ashley can tell you when the skies will clear.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nick Monticelli. Thank you for being here.
And I'm Kim DeGiulio. Well, it is a wet Wednesday for most of us across Metro Detroit. So let's get it over to Ashley, who is going to tell us about that dense fog advisory. It's been extended?
That's right. So it was set to lift at 11 o'clock this morning, but we are now not anticipating much to fluctuate in the visibility until tomorrow afternoon. So this dense fog advisory will not only last this afternoon, but will take us well through your Thursday morning. And not only has it been expanded in time frame, it has also been expanded now up north of M59 and I-69. So this includes all of southeast Michigan. Let's look at our visibility at this noon hour. Half mile in Grosse Ile and down to a third of a mile at City Airport and in Monroe. And that's not the thickest fog that we have on the map. Port Huron reporting a goose egg, 0 mile visibility. So you need to exercise caution as you take to the roads. We're seeing this as warm air is pushing over a really cold surface after having an Arctic blast and quite a bit of snowfall. So you need to continue to use your low beams and slower speeds for your afternoon drive and again for tomorrow morning. Once again, we're not really as concerned about freezing fog, especially with these type of temperatures. So we're in the upper 30s at Metro Airport where visibility is really low. 38 in Ann Arbor, 36 in Lapeer, 38 in Monroe. And we have the light wind speeds kind of averaging out to be about 5 miles per hour. Scattered rain showers pushing through the area. So we're going to contend with rain throughout the afternoon. You'll want the umbrella. We'll get a little break tomorrow morning before more rain rolls in. But let's go ahead and take a look at your afternoon forecast. So kind of hovering right around 37, 38 degrees throughout the rest of the afternoon with lighter wind speeds. But besides the rain, the headline will be the fog over the next 24 hours. And you can follow your visibility in your neighborhood along with the rain showers on radar with our Forewarn Weather app. If you haven't done so, download it in the App Store for free.
Ashley, thank you. Day 2 of jury selection in Jennifer Crumbley's involuntary manslaughter case is underway right now in Oakland County. The mother of the Oxford High School shooter is waiting to see if lawyers can pin down a jury to decide her fate.
Sean Lay is in the courtroom, and our Damon Fernandez joins us from the newsroom where he is also monitoring those updates.
Yeah, Kim, a lot of people are watching this historic case closely. Jennifer Crumbley and her husband are the first parents in the U.S. to go on trial in connection to their child's actions during a mass shooting. The judge started this morning saying, "I hope we have a jury today." And it looks like they're getting very close to finalizing the jury in this trial. Well, Jennifer Crumbley is sitting with her defense attorney Shannon Smith right now as lawyers for both sides continue questioning a jury pool. Right now, 17 potential jurors are sitting in the jury box. A couple of potential jurors didn't show up on time this morning, and the judge said she'd deal with that. During the selection process this morning, jurors are being asked about potential conflicts of interests and their willingness to weigh all of the evidence against Jennifer Crumbley. For example, the judge told jury pools that this case involves a minor who killed people and has been convicted of murder. What that pool doesn't know is how the teen got the gun. They won't know that until they hear the evidence during the trial, according to the judge. Some jurors are also being asked about their behaviors after mass shooting incidents. One admitted they avoid theaters and malls now because of mass shootings that have happened in the past. And sending her children, she said, to school each day can be stressful. A couple of jurors were dismissed due to their strong knowledge of this case. Another believed no minor should ever touch a gun. Well, Jennifer Crumbley and her husband are each facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the students who were killed by their son in November 2021. Now, initially, the parents were going to be tried together, but at requests for separate trials that was made back in November, it was granted that they have separate trials again. The judge started the morning saying she hopes a jury is selected today, and you can monitor Sean Lay's live updates from the courtroom at clickondetroit.com. For now, I'm going to send things back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Devon, thank you so much. Today we could get more details about a lawsuit involving a woman killed by a DDOT bus driver.
67-year-old Janice Bauer was crossing the street in downtown Detroit when she was hit by a bus. Geraldine Johnson was behind the wheel.
Bauer's family is suing the city of Detroit because that wasn't the first time Johnson ran over a pedestrian. The suit accuses DDOT and the city of negligence for retaining Johnson despite her history of dangerous driving.
New information from the Macomb County Sheriff's about a shooting involving Shelby Township Police. The incident happened earlier this month. A man called 911 saying he stabbed his mother, demanding officers come get him and kill him or he would kill them. Police say they showed up to the Shelby Oaks apartment complex and 30-year-old Miles Farish charged at them with a knife. We're told attempts to subdue failed and officers fired multiple shots at him.
Our investigation found that there was no evidence to substantiate requesting criminal charges on the officers that fired. This case was reviewed with the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office, who came to the same determination.
Police say Farish is currently stable under guard at a local hospital. He has been charged with assaulting his mother and the officers.
The man accused of murdering Samantha Wool at her Detroit home will stand trial. Michael Jackson Bolanos faces a felony murder charge in the death of Wool, a prominent Jewish community leader. 17 witnesses testified during the two-day preliminary hearing, providing enough evidence to move the case forward. Prosecutors focused on the video evidence, tracking the suspect from his home to the crime scene. Jackson Bolanos is pleading not guilty and denies all the allegations. Detectives say they are getting close to wrapping up the investigation into the murders of 3 rappers found in Highland Park.
Armani Kelly, Dante Wicker, and Montoya Givens were reported missing last year after they didn't show up to a performance at Lounge 31 on Detroit's east side. They were later found shot to death in an abandoned building. Investigators say the men were killed in, quote, a gang-related incident. If you have any information on the case, call Michigan State Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK up. Ford is recalling many of its Explorer SUVs because the trim along the windshield could come off. All Ford Explorer 2011 to 2019 models are affected here. That trim may not be hooked on right due to improper assembly. If it ends up popping off, it becomes a road hazard and can increase the risk of a crash. Federal safety regulators should be sending out letters notifying owners of the safety risk by March 13th.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer will deliver the annual State of the State address tonight. She will speak in the Michigan House chambers in front of a joint session of the Michigan House of Representatives and the Michigan Senate. You can watch it live on Local 4 Plus starting at 7 p.m.
Michigan's GOP leaders are also hosting a roundtable ahead of Whitmer's address. House Republican leader Matt Hall and Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt will outline their priorities and expectations ahead of the governor's remarks. You'll be able to watch this at 1 o'clock this afternoon on the Michigan House Republicans' official YouTube. With former President Trump's big win in New Hampshire, all eyes now turn to South Carolina.
And that's former Governor and Ambassador Nikki Haley's home state, and she says she is not throwing in the towel. But at this rate, as NBC's Bree Jackson explains, we could go into the upcoming election looking very similar to 2020.
Former President Donald Trump defeating his lone Republican rival here in New Hampshire, moving him one step closer to a possible rematch with President Biden. Now, Trump does have history on his side. No Republican has ever won both Iowa and New Hampshire and then failed to win the party's nomination. But despite her granted state loss, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, she did not sound defeated at all. During a speech last night, she stressed that the race is not over, and her campaign has vowed to stay put at least until Super Tuesday, which is in March. Now, on the Democratic side, President Biden did beat his Democratic challengers in New Hampshire. Despite being a write-in candidate, President Biden's name was not even on the ballot here because Democrats made South Carolina their first sanctioned primary state. Both Republicans and Democrats now have their eyes on South Carolina, where primaries will be held there in February. And keep in mind, back in 2020, South Carolina was key to catapulting Joe Biden to the top of the Democratic ticket. So now it could play a key role in whoever may win the Republican nomination. In Manchester, New Hampshire, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Bree, thank you. South Carolina is what's considered an open primary state, which means residents, regardless of party affiliation, can vote in either the Democratic primary on February 3rd or the Republican primary, which will be held on the 24th.
However, residents cannot vote in both.